Come on into Season 22, Episode number 3 of Laker Connections, your only place for all things Laker sports. I'm Kenny Gerard, and today I'm co-hosted by none other than the sports director, the high-flying, heartbreaking, croissant bacon, Michael Shetler. And Shet, I would like for you to introduce yourself to those at home, and we really need a new intro video. I hope Ryan and Zach still watch this, and apparently we just miss you guys so much that we just left the intro video. But
They do.
Yeah.
They definitely do. Well,
Shet.
Kenny, I'd like to say thank you for having me.
Of course.
For those that don't know me, my name is Michael Shetler. I am the sports director this year for WTOP 10. I am also the absolute best friend of Kenny Gerard. Don't let him say otherwise.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much to a T. I mean, I really don't know what else I could say about Michael Shetler. I don't say his name. Michael. Real
Don't
fancy
call me
today.
Michael, dude.
Michael.
Don't call me Michael.
All right, well, Michael, with hockey in full swing and Whiteout Weekend now in the rearview mirror, it is time for the Wheelhouse Wire, where me and my pal Shet will update you on all things Oswego hockey from last weekend and next. Now, Shet, why don't you start off with how the men's hockey team did this weekend? I lied. Actually, I'm going to do it. I just read off a teleprompter, read the wrong thing. We're going over here now. The men's hockey team had their yearly Whiteout Weekend, as well as SUNYAC opening games. The men's team took on the Plattsburgh State Cardinals Friday night with a full arena and towels flying for as far as the eye can see. The Birds came in ranked number 12 in the USCHO poll, and the Lakers still on the brink, receiving just 7 votes for the poll. Now, with 4 goals scored by the Lakers for the first time this season and 3 freshmen picking up their first goal, the Lakers soared past the Cardinals by a tally of 5-1, with the last goal coming the way of an empty netter by Connor Gato. The Baby Brother game took place on Saturday against the Potsdam Bears, and it was deja vu for many Laker fans as the Lakers won a huge one, 6-1 over the Bears, and solidified a 2-0 start in the conference this year.
Yeah, that was a doozy. I think in terms of Whiteout in general, I mean, couldn't have been a better start for these Lakers in terms of Whiteout. In terms of the men's, finally clicking, cohesiveness is something, you know, with 18 new freshmen. It's definitely something to note that they're finally starting to mesh. But on the women's side, the Oswego State women's Whiteout game was an absolute thriller against the Plattsburgh State Cardinals, ending in a 2-2 tie where the Lakers pulled out a win in a shootout with Rachel Corbett scoring the winning goal. The Lakers were down by 2 goals heading into the third and kicked into high gear out of nowhere. With 15:05 left in the third, Elizabeth Cooley ripped a shot in the back of the net, and in less than 30 seconds, the game was tied. The Lakers refused to go down without a fight and weren't going to let the Plattsburgh Cardinals ruin their Whiteout matchup. This game was physical, it was gritty, and Kenny, it was everything you wanted in a D3 hockey matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, just to kind of go back to the men's team as well, I mean, they had a clean sweep in SUNYAC Players of the Week.
Yep.
Athlete of the Week, I believe, was Gato. Horacek
Yep.
got Rookie of the Week, and then Milberg got Goalie of the Week, so a clean sweep among SUNYAC hockey for the men's team. I mean, great performance. You come in to play a team who's number 12 in the country, and you go out and go, wow, I mean, we got to come in and win this game, and they came in and they did a lot more than just win. They blew them out. So, I mean, a great game for Oswego. Obviously, now that we're on the show, we can show a little bit of bias. I mean, who's not happy about a turnout like that? But the only thing a lot of Laker fans, and myself included, who have called a few of these games now, playoffs are going to be something, and I'm hoping for the best in terms of playoffs. They are just owned by Plattsburgh come playoff time.
Yeah.
Schiller can't win here, just couldn't do it, and Jacob Hearn owns the Lakers, so it's really going to be a debate of how that goes. But for the women's team, now they come into the Deb and play a team that's number 7 in the country, and they go out and win in shootout, and came 5 minutes left. They were down 2-0. They come back and win it. I think it was a really good weekend against Plattsburgh for both the men's and women's team, and obviously the men's team did great too against Potsdam, a team that they should have beat, and they come in and win 6-1. I really can't complain to either end of the spectrum here.
Yeah, I mean, with the women specifically, it's just the definition of hockey's not over until that third period buzzer hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going 5 minutes left, I don't know what, you know, was going on in that locker room, but I just saw a flip switch once they got out there, and not even a minute, with 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds, the game was tied. You know, bias here, but, you know, from the control room, I think that was the most exciting game to watch. You know, obviously, the men's, both Whiteout and the Baby Brother game against Potsdam. But yeah, the women's game was definitely a thriller to watch.
It definitely was, Shet, but let's hear a preview. What's coming up?
Absolutely. So for the men's team have back-to-back home games next weekend against the 3-1 Buff State Bengals and the 2-4 Fredonia Blue Devils. Excuse me. 2 matchups for the Lakers as they look to carry momentum from this weekend to next week. Oswego is 2-0 in the conference. However, Kenny, Buff State beat Cortland, and Oswego lost to Cortland, so there could be a tough matchup for the Lakers here coming up next week.
Yeah, and just some of my pre-weekend research that I do, I saw that Buff State is currently, well, by strength of schedule would be number 1 above Oswego right now, so we're currently sitting in 2. But they coming to beat Cortland, a team that Oswego could not beat last year. In the holiday tournament, they lost in shootout. They lost at home in the SUNYAC play. They play Cortland, I think, 3 times again this year. They go to Skinny Atlas for a game as well. I forget what the sponsor of it is, but they do go to Skinny Atlas, play a game that's neutral. So seeing them 3 times a year, not winning a single game last year, and Cortland goes out and kind of surprises everybody and wins the SUNYAC, gets their NCAA bid. I mean, it's a team that a lot of people did not expect to be good, but they are sneaky good. So I'm looking forward to see how, against Buff State, a team that they should beat, in quotes. We'll see what happens. But we'll switch it back now over to the women's team. We're coming off the huge win against the number 7 Cardinals. The Lakers are set to face yet another red team, the Cortland Red Dragons. As if facing the number 7 team was not a tall enough task, the Lakers must now take on number 8. The Lakers received 28 votes on this week's USCHO poll, and with a win this Friday, it would probably solidify them a place among the top 15 teams in the country. The last time these 2 teams met was in the SUNYAC playoffs, and the Red Dragons came out victorious at home 2-1 over the Lakers. The Red Dragons look to take down one of the tougher teams they will see this season, while the Lakers look to take down yet another tough team and show that they are true contenders not only in conference, but in D3 hockey.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, Cortland just breeds championship teams. It's kind of been the way that the cards have been dealt the past couple of years. But, the women specifically, they're off to a great start. 4-0, obviously the shootout doesn't count as a victory. But you couldn't have had a better start for this women's team. And I think that this is going to be a true testament to how tough this team is once they face Cortland this weekend.
Yeah, and Mac Hole taking home SUNYAC Player of the Week or Athlete of the Week for hockey. Another award for the Lakers. I mean, the hockey teams have been good, and a lot of people came in, especially on the men's side of things. They really didn't know how to feel losing so many seniors. But going back to the women's side now, you also lose a few players, but you still have Levy and Hole, which I think were their big 2. And I think that they really can be the difference maker this year. It just depends to see how they mesh with the rest of the team and how things go moving down the stretch. But I think if they can come out and beat Cortland, that's a huge, huge mark. But that's going to be it for our Wheelhouse Wire. When we come back, it'll be time for the weekend recap and taking a zip over to the Zeal. Stick around. You're watching Laker Connections on WTOP 10.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West 1st Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see? All these clubs are looking.
They're looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free.
Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Welcome back to Laker Connections on WTOP 10, Season 22, Episode number 3, your main hub for Oswego sports. I'm Kenny Gerard, coincided by the wonderful and marvelous Michael Shetler.
You're flattering.
I know, thank you. I really appreciate it. But it's time to get into the weekend recap.
It's time.
So the Lakers are still in their non-conference play and took on the St. Lawrence Saints. The Lakers had uncharacteristic loss, totaling only 44 points, and lost 44-45. The Lakers' efforts were led by Aki Anderson, who scored 12 points for Oswego. While the Lakers come off yet another NCAA tournament run last year, the Lakers are off to a slow start to the new campaign after losing star power, mainly Jeremiah Sparks. The question now is, will the Lakers find their spark this season, or sparks, and will this be the tail of the tape for the rest of the year?
Yeah, and earlier in this year, I talked to Coach Leone. I did an interview with him, and essentially the same thing goes. He's one of those coaches that, every year he's able to pick up the pieces, pick up where he's left off, and no matter what team he's left with, he breeds championship teams. Obviously the 3-year stretch where they made the SUNYAC championship 3 years in a row, they had those top guys. They had Sparks, they had Bowman, and without those guys, it's kind of up in the air to see how they will be this year. But they still got guys like Aki Anderson, and they have a ton of new freshmen. So a lot of potential for this team, Kenny.
Yeah, you don't really look at a team that just goes, oh, we're going to go all the way to NCAA.
Right.
I mean, ever since I've been here, they've been in the tournament, and the last 2 years they were in the championship at home.
Yeah.
Or not the champ. They made the tournament at home.
Yeah.
And they won the SUNYAC my freshman year, and they beating Brockport, and they lose to New Paltz last year.
Yep.
And I don't know why specifically it went down that way in that last game.
Yeah.
I think it was
uncharacteristic.
It was an uncharacteristic playoff run.
Yeah.
It was a really close game against Cortland, and then they dropped to New Paltz. So it's going to be an interesting season. I really don't know where to feel right now. I think it's similar to men's hockey, where it was like that they have a lot of young guys, lost a lot of star power. Where are they going to go? And in the hockey world, it seems like, well, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hopefully stray that same way with men's basketball, but 44 points.
Yeah.
That's
You're
bad.
not going to get the job done with 44 points. And before we jump into women's real quick, I want to say, I was talking to Leone, and I asked him, straight up, do you view years as rebuild years? And a thing that I wanted to know in basketball, every year is a rebuild year in terms of D3 sports, right? You have college students graduating each and every year, and he's found a way to really recalibrate the team each and every year in that regard. However, in terms of women's basketball, as I subtly plug my IFB back in, the Oswego State women's basketball team competed in the Max Zeal tournament this past weekend, where they suffered an unfortunate loss to the Amherst Mammoths. On Friday, the team punched their ticket to the championship game in a 56-43 victory against SUNY Poly. Shania Iglesias had herself a day, dropping 15 points and carrying the team to a victory. Shania was on a hot start, with helping an 11-0 run to get Oswego out to an early lead. The Lakers would end the first half up 19-9 and would ride that momentum all the way to a victory. Giovanna White-Principio also helped the team, dropping 8 points and proving herself to be an integral part of this roster. The Lakers didn't have the same luck against Amherst Mammoths, suffering a 40-51 loss in the Max Zeal tournament game. The first quarter was unlike the first game, with the Lakers struggling offensively, only scoring, can you get this, 5 points in their first 5 minutes, shooting a measly 2-12 from the field and going 0-6 from three-point land. I want to say turnovers and offensive production were a key, significant issue that they had to deal with this game. And Kenny, at the end of the day, like we talked about the men's game, 40 points, it's not enough to take home a victory in a championship game nonetheless.
No, agreed. And just look at some stats here quickly. Total points are being outscored 156 to 140 on the year. They're getting outshot in points per game 52 to 46.7. Their scoring margin, negative 5.3. Right. So, simply put, look at numbers. This team is not producing the way they need to. But having White-Principio and having some of those star players that they still had last year, they're still bringing back a lot of talent. I think they could really make a run this year. It's early. And again, a lot of these winter sports teams seem to be very similar in the fact that they need to get that chemistry down. But speaking of chemistry, I think we got a good chemistry. And I think you guys are going to have to wait at home to see the next block, as we are done with our weekend recap. But stick around for the week ahead. You're watching Laker Connections right here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Oh.
I didn't see you there.
Welcome back into Laker Connection, Season 22, Episode 3, your home for Laker sports. I'm Kenny Gerard.
I'm Michael Shetler. Michael Shetler. I guess I'll address that my first name is Michael, finally.
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you.
You remembered your name.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's time to look ahead. For the week ahead in Laker sports, we're going to talk about some more men's basketball and women's basketball. And Shetler, why don't you kick it off with men's basketball?
Who doesn't want to talk about basketball? So in terms over to Lakerland, the Lakers will be taking on Brockport tomorrow in Brockport as they look to get the boys rolling after a devastating one-point defeat against St. Lawrence. Brockport is 1-3, looking to gain a huge victory over the Lakers, and Oswego State is looking to continue to put the pieces together after a 2-1 start on the season. Kenny, I mentioned, 2-1 start on the season on paper doesn't look bad, but in terms of productivity and, the several elements of getting this new team with a lot of new players to mesh, time will tell how true this team is compared to years prior.
Yeah, and again, this is just looking at some quick numbers here. Their scoring margin is 8.3. Last year, it was in the 20s. Yeah. 24 around average, so not as good.
Right.
And again, out of conference play, a lot of time left. And I mean, also we're looking at three-pointers. That was another huge point for the Lakers.
Yeah.
They're being outshot beyond the arc. They have 5 threes per game compared to the opponent's 7. That's huge. That's completely different. I talked about in their NCAA tournament how good they were from beyond the arc, and they're just not hitting the shots from beyond the arc this year. I think that's the huge difference. Also, looking at their field goals overall, barely out shooting opponents. 40.9% shot percentage compared to 39.2. Rebounding, they're out rebounding good still because you still got hockey.
Right.
So you got these big guys down low. Turnovers, 42 to opponents 36.
Right.
Not good.
And you look at last year, and in the past 3 years, really, now they are squeaking out victories by the skin of their teeth. You look at last year, you're looking at blowout after blowout, week after week, with a couple exceptions. But, teams going undefeated, near undefeated in the past 3 years, and now, just squeezing out victories by little light margin. It's not going to get the job done down the stretch.
No, it looks a lot like they did against Cortland in that playoff game, then New Paltz, they inevitably fell. But we're going to switch gears now over to the women's hoops team, who is about to tip off their last non-conference game before SUNYAC play begins next week. The Lakers will take on the Alfred University Saxons this Saturday in the Max Steel Gymnasium. The Lakers are 1-2 so far in conference play and look to get back to 500 before the SUNYAC action begins. And as we've been mentioning before, it's all about the pre-conference play. People say it doesn't matter. Well, you're wrong. It absolutely matters, Scheller.
Absolutely. And, couple things I want to mention. Obviously, in the past story, I talked about Oswego starting 0-6 from 3. It's unacceptable. Dropping 40 points, also not going to get the job done. I think some of it comes down to picking up the pieces early, meshing early on, but there's some fundamental issues that need to get addressed if this team wants to go far.
Yeah, I agreed. And it's just, we have to see what happens. It's a lot of we got to see what happens.
It's early.
It's early.
Yeah.
It's very early. And that's the sticky part about episodes right now is it's very early. And unfortunately, this is actually our last episode of the semester. So this is the last you're going to see of me until next semester. And the last you'll probably see him ever unless we decide to bring it back. Maybe. Unless my wonderful co-host Lucas McGarry doesn't get buried in homework again. But anyway, so yeah, no, it's been a similar story to the men's team. Free throws, they're getting outshot. We look at their 3-point percentages, they're being outshot. If you look at field goals, they're being outshot. It's a losing team, and that's what it is. So it's just as simple as I think fundamentally and their chemistry, they are just kind of lacking, and I think that those small improvements can make a huge difference come into the conference play. But that is going to be it for our week ahead. When we come back, it's time for everybody's favorite segment of the show, the Laker Showdown. You're watching Laker Connections right here on WTOP 10.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the Earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of times.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
And then we did this last weekend, and then are we
Oh,
live?
but then-
We're live.
We're live.
Oh, we're live. Oh! Welcome back to Laker Connections right here on WTOP 10, and we're joined by yet another Mike. It's our moderator, Mike Neckers. Mike, how we doing?
I'm doing wonderful, guys. Happy to be here. I missed Lucas tonight, but we've got Mike Shetler in here, one of my top 3 people in WTOP.
Top 3? All right, what's your top 3?
Yeah, wait, we got to hear this first. Hold on, wait.
Well, we don't have time for that.
No, we do.
I think we have time.
have plenty of time.
I fear I may have misspoke.
I fear you may have misspoke. It's okay.
Let's get right to these questions. What do we think?
All right.
So first off,
okay,
it's going to be, can we pop the lower third up? I kind of forgot the question. I'm not going to lie.
Let's get it in there.
Which Oswego team is the most exciting during this winter sports season, guys? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Shetler.
I want to say I'd probably go with the Oswego State women's hockey team. I stole your thunder, but you know, starting out 4-0, I don't have the statistics of the last time that this team started out 4-0, but you look at them and you watch their games, and it's promise. Promise is the word. Everything is clicking, all facets of the game. They're clicking. They're beating teams. Obviously, the tie last week, but you know, they're beating teams and they're winning and they're doing everything right fundamental-wise.
I'm so mad right now. That was my pick. I'm so upset. I was going to say the same thing. No, I'm not going to double down because I got to pick something else. Man. I'm just going to have to say, in terms of excitement, I like to say there's got to be some dramatics behind it. So I'm going to take the men's basketball team.
Okay.
And I think what's the difference between the men's hockey team is people kind of expect them to still be good. People don't know how to feel about the men's basketball team. So I think every game is exciting because you don't know. Are they going to go out and score 44 points and drop a 44-45 game against St. Lawrence? Yeah. Are they going to go out there and blow up Brockport by 100 points? Right. So I think that team is so up and down that it's the most exciting team to watch. And I think the games, from a TV standpoint for us, I think they're the most interesting to call because you really don't know what to expect. Hockey, you kind of expect what you're going into. Right. Men's basketball, I don't think you do.
Yeah, so Kenny, a really solid answer there. Obviously, the Lakers missing guys like Aki Anderson. Or no, he's still here.
No, he's still here.
Jeremiah Sparks.
This guy's picked the answers you know what he's talking about.
Luke
Come
Van
on.
Slyke's gone. I mean, they've lost a lot of guys. It's going to be a rough season for them. It'll be interesting to see how they play out. But I got to go with Shetler on this one. He gets the point.
That's the right answer.
I mean, starting out 4-0-1, a crazy overtime win. Only goes in as a tie. But what a game that was last weekend. And I got to call it with Connor Sangus.
I got to watch it from the controller.
So exciting. Oh, my goodness. So Shetler's going to get the first point. But next up, we have a question. And I already think I know who my winner is going to be. Are the Bills the best team in the NFL? Kenny, let's start with you.
No. Plain and simply, no. They're not. I don't think they're going to beat the Lions. They're not there yet. I think they are a great team. I think they're a very good team. I think they're probably second best after beating the Chiefs. But I don't think they're better than the Lions yet. So I'm going to say just no. Just because of the Lions right now. But I do think they're a close second. And they'll probably still lose in the playoffs too. Mahomes. So, yeah, no.
You know, as much as I want to be a delusional Bills fan, I believe wholeheartedly that the Bills are the best team in the AFC. In terms of the National Football League, I think the Lions take it. I think we fare well against the Lions, I will say. I know I'm supposed to come up with a different take than you, but I will say this. I think that this is the best team that they have rolled out in the Josh Allen era. So much for a rebuild year. We're 9-2. That's the best record we've had since before those 4 Super Bowls. Don't give me anything. At least we made 4. Cowboys have not been relevant ever. Just kidding. But anyways, I think Josh Allen is playing, and I want to say this in not a derogatory term, but a carefree
This guy stop
football.
now. Can we pivot?
No.
Can I pivot? Can I
Hold on,
pivot?
let me finish
Can I
my statement.
pivot?
Let me finish my
We're
statement.
running out of time.
Carefree football. The Bills are the second best team. They're winning the Super Bowl.
No. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot. Go Bills.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.
Oh, the Bills are the best team in the league.
Oh, so you're saying yes? Okay, I'm saying no. I'm saying no.
Okay. Bills are the best team in the league.
No.
Well, Shetler, I am not a fan of the Bills at all, and frankly, they are not the best team in the league. Kenny Gerard is absolutely right on this one. So I'm going to give this one to Kenny Gerard. Woo! Score is 1-1 going to this final question, and folks, we're missing someone here tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, Lucas McGarry could not be here. He is swamped with homework and other things.
Allegedly.
So am I.
Legend might not have been the best word to use there.
So am I.
But with that being said, this third question is about Lucas McGarry. What is his best quality? So, rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first. Best of one.
I'm going to throw rock.
Okay.
I'm telling you I'm throwing rock.
I'm throwing paper down.
Okay.
Okay.
You sure you want to answer this question first?
I'm throwing paper down.
Okay. On my count, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I lied. You're up.
Kenny Gerard, take it away, sir.
Lucas McGarry. That's a tough one. Good things about Lucas McGarry. I got one.
Silence.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's got a mustache. He's on the swim team, and his last name is cool. He's got a mustache.
Is that your final answer, Mr. Shetler?
And he. Wow, this is a tough one. His name.
I've been presented with a lot of tough questions in my day. It's a bad one.
He commentates for WTOP.
I will say, actually, I do have one. I will say, he is by far the best concession stand worker ever at the Albany Dutchman. He was a stud behind the fryer at his broadcasting internship. Let me tell you, he was a stud. I'm going to say he was the best fry cook at the Albany Dutchman. He's going to kill me. He was the best fry cook at the Albany Dutchman. There's my answer.
Hey, Kenny, how much broadcasting experience did he get while being a fry cook at the Albany Dutchman for his internship?
Depends how much of memes you're listening to on the PA.
Lucas McGarry, I'm sorry you have to sit through this at home and watch this.
I thought he was doing homework.
Well, I think he is. I don't know. This was kind of our intent with this segment, was to make fun of you because we don't think too highly of you. No,
what?
No! Joking.
Lucas, all right. Lucas, in all seriousness, if I am going to say a good thing about Lucas McGarry, he's an extremely hard worker. He shows up and he shows out every week. He's always with us helping. He's helped us set up numerous occasions until 2 o'clock, setting up hockey. He shows up every day. He's a very hard worker. If you want an honest answer, we love you, Lucas.
I will give him a good answer, too. He is very dedicated. He does a sport and he does TOP. I think he's a very dedicated individual. But you got to pick a winner here. We only got 45 seconds left.
Let's get a drum roll on the desk. This one's going to go to the newbie, Michael Shetler!
Come on!
Not for the nice things you said, but for the mustache.
He's got a mustache!
Come on!
He's got a mustache.
No mustache.
At least I can grow real facial hair.
Oh. So big and scary. Oh.
Get out of here, swim boy.
No.
Beat it. Oh, he's staying. All right, you can stay.
Whatever. That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us for season 22. Well, actually, yeah, season 22 of Laker Connections, the last episode. We appreciate you guys joining us for this season, and we'll see you guys next semester for season 23. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great night.